Introduce us.
Uh,
What are we doing? What are we doing
what are we
today?
doing? What are we doing tonight? We are talking about our top 10 albums of 2004 since 2004 was 20 years ago, and we decided to do a 20-year
So what
chat
do we
about.
do? What do we do next year when 2005 is 20 years ago, but we already did that?
I guess we'll just have to redo it. No, just kidding. We just won't
Um,
do one then. Oh well.
oh well. Do you want to start? I mean, I know your list because you sent it to me, but
You know my list.
you don't know what my
Oh,
list is.
I think you should go first then.
Okay. I'll go
Mine are in
in
no particular order though.
mine are in particular order. Mine go from uh top 10 best, least to best, if that makes sense. Least best to best,
So you're
most
starting
best,
at like pretty much the
mo
bottom,
most
and
bestest.
then you're
Yeah,
gonna end with your favorite.
right.
Yeah,
But just
mine aren't in any order, so
but just because it's on the bottom doesn't mean it wasn't great.
no, I get it.
So my number 10 is actually My Heart Will Always Be at the B-Side of My Tongue by Fall Out Boy, the small EP they released that introduced us to Nobody Put Baby in the Corner back before it was a full band song. It was just acoustic.
Yeah.
That's also where their Christmas song first made their debut.
Yeah, the first Fall Out Boy record I heard was Take This to Your Grave.
Hmm.
That's the first one I remember.
Yeah, and this was like a small EP with like B-side tracks that was
Yeah.
released between that and Cork Tree.
Yeah, I remember it. I don't think I actually listened to it though.
It was great. There was also like a DVD on there, so you could
Wow.
like pop it in, and they had like video content in there.
It's because it was a B-side, so they wanted, to make it better.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I didn't put mine in a particular order, so I'm just gonna start at the top of my list.
Go
And the
for it.
top of my list has Autopilot Off, Make a Sound. Because I loved their first EP, which I think was in 2001 or two, their EP came out. I think I've talked about this before. But yeah, that record, oh, that record's so great. It's like perfect from front to back. Ugh. But my two favorite songs on that are What I Want and The 12th Day. I just thought, I don't know, there's some lyrics in some of the songs, and it's like What I Want has like, there's like something came alive on that 3x5, like they're talking about a picture and stuff. And I'm like, ah, just love the lyrics in that song.
So my number nine would be Palm Trees and Power Lines by Sugar Cult.
Okay, yeah. I have that on my list as well.
Yeah, I knew. I think there was only two that overlapped, but I mean that album is what introduced us to memory.
Yeah.
And I mean, it only grew from there. And actually, I think their album before this was the one where it was all featured heavily on radio.
Well, the one before it
And
had Bouncing Off the Walls on it.
right.
That was when I first knew, like, learned of Sugar Cult was that record. I mean, that was like their most popular song ever, I swear. But yeah, no, the Palm Trees and Power Lines was a great second album for sure. I mean, I have my favorite songs were Memory, obviously, and
Mhm.
Champagne. I don't know what it is about the song Champagne. I just love that song. I wonder what listeners or viewers think of that record. Let us know. Comment on it if you listen to this episode.
Episode.
This episode. We're representing and recording an episode. I don't know. This is what people want to watch us for, right?
Right? Do
This
you want me to go?
BS, this
Do you want me?
crapola.
Do you want me to go with my next one since you shared and we both had Sugar Cult on ours?
Yeah, that's fine. You can go with your next one.
Number eight would be Catalyst by Newfound Glory.
Yeah, that's a good record.
So that one had All Down Here. Wow, we are both just great at talking tonight. That one had All Downhill from Here on that record. And of course, that is probably the song that'll stand out the most on that
Yeah.
album. But I remember hearing that album and because that came out pretty close to when I graduated. And that was kind of the album that everyone was kind of playing right around that time. You
Well,
know, if they were in a
Catalyst,
pop out.
well, I mean, Sticks and Stones, that was the first one I
Yeah.
know. And I mean, that's a great record.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I like Newfound Glory, but I mean, I wasn't like huge into them. Like some people were just obsessed. And they were not a band I got obsessed about, but they were a great band and they still are. So I mean, yeah, it's a good record. It's a good record. A good 2004 record. 20 years old.
Right?
20 years old. So the next one I had on my list was Simple Plan, still not getting any. And I mean, Welcome to My Life and Perfect World were my favorite songs on there. I mean, a lot of people can relate to Welcome to My Life. Uh, that definitely was one of those songs that hit hard for sure for a lot of people I know. Especially because like I think like AP just did a thing where what was your favorite Simple Plan song? And they wanted to know. And that was one of the bigger ones that people were listing off. That and Perfect.
Yeah, I mean that's a great album. I didn't get into Simple Plan until a few years after it came out, but great
Yeah.
album.
I remember I had a Simple Plan poster on my wall back in the day. Can't remember if it was signed by any of them though. I feel like it was. Maybe like two of them. I don't know. I still have it. I just don't have it up. I have a whole bunch of posters I still have. Like they're in storage in my closet and like a poster saver thing, but I got a lot of posters that if I ever buy a house, will probably be plastered all throughout the house.
Let's not go into that millennial misery of owning a house.
Ugh, yeah. I don't know the misery, but I know the misery of living in an apartment and having loud upstairs neighbors and obnoxious other neighbors that like to rev their car engines for no apparent reason at 10 o'clock at night. Jackasses.
I think
And
our
your
elder,
next one.
I was gonna say our elder emo is showing with that comment.
What?
Our next one is a deviation. I told you I was gonna deviate a little bit and a couple
Uh-oh.
surprises. My number seven of 2004 was Confessions by Usher.
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah,
deviate at all. These are all emo bands that I put on my list.
I mean Confessions and
Well, not
yeah,
technically emo. Emo.
email.
Yeah, we really can't talk tonight, can we?
I love those email albums.
Yeah, email albums. No,
But
I
yeah,
mean
I mean,
Usher's good. I
where
love
were
I
you
love
in
Usher.
2004 if you weren't listening to Yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
I
gosh,
don't karaoke. Have you ever karaoke?
couple times. It's been a
Really?
long time. Yeah,
Oh,
it's been a long time.
I can't. Well, you were in a band though. Did you? You didn't sing in that band, did you?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. See, so you're used to singing in front of people. See, I just sing in my car or in front of my coworkers at work because I just don't care.
but not on the podcast.
But I mean, on the podcast, ugh, no one wants to hear that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And nobody at a karaoke bar wants to hear that either. But does anybody really want to hear people karaokeing at a bar?
No, not really.
No, not unless you're good. Like you actually can sing.
Or you're just there for the laughs.
It's true. You are there for the laughs. I have been at some fun karaoke bars watching others. Yep. I had a friend, he changed like Barbie Girl to like a metal version. It was great.
As it should be.
All
What's your
right.
next one?
You got nothing else to say about Usher?
You just can't say anything about Usher.
You
What
just
is there to
can't.
say? It's
I
great.
don't know. It's just great. My next on my list is Atreyu the Curse. I think
Forever
Atreyu the
your angry
Curse.
music.
See, Atreyu the Curse though, like that record definitely got me into like more heavy stuff. Like, yeah, I was into Story of the Year and stuff, but they weren't super heavy, you know, until like 2005 was a heavier album that came out with theirs. But like Atreyu was definitely one of those first heavier bands that I kind of started leaning me more towards to metal and other stuff. Like I started going with a friend to like a lot of heavier shows after I got into Atreyu. And I think I actually got more into Atreyu when I was street teaming for Victory Records because that was about around that time, like '04, and then like to like '07, I think it was. But yeah, they were on Victory, so I mean I got more into them and then I got into a lot of the heavier bands that Victory had on their bill.
I feel
Yeah,
like
my
I feel like that album cover should be completely unmemorable, but I can picture it so well.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's great. Great album cover. It's a great album. I mean, my favorite songs, obviously Right Side of the Bed is a popular one, but Bleeding Mascara is also popular. There was a lot
Mhm.
of popular songs on that record. But yeah, I mean, you could probably agree with me on those songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's your go-to angry album, isn't it?
That one, yeah, that's a great album. When you're angry, it makes me feel a lot better. I'm one of those, I listen to angrier music or heavier music when I'm in a pissed off mood. Some people listen to like, instrumentals or something, or classical music if they're in an angry mood. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it could calm them down.
I mean, I do tend to, if I'm like feeling down on myself and I'm sad and I'm kind of feeling a little depressed, I actually do turn to like some Christian rock. Like, I don't know what it is. For some reason, Christian rock kind of brings me out of that funk. I don't know. Because I had
Just
a
need
Christian rock phase. So,
sometimes. Do you just say face instead of phase?
phase. I said phase.
I just said face. You do have a Christian rock face.
Do I have a Christian rock phase?
Must have been that baptism you went to.
The baptism, yes. Hey, they had a
Uh,
they had a band. Band was good.
see, fits right in.
Yep. It was the first church I ever went to that actually had a live band.
Really?
Yeah, because the last time I was at a church, it was my dad's church, and they're super old school, and they just have an organ still. They didn't get with the times when people want live performing, musicians.
Yeah.
So, so yeah,
So yeah, my number 6 is Under My Skin by Avril.
I knew Avril would be in there for you.
Yeah,
You love your
um,
Avril Lavigne.
I sure do. So her sophomore album, and that's the one, of course, that had "Don't Tell Me" and "Fall to Pieces." Great
Yeah,
album.
it's a good
Can't wait.
it's a good album.
Can't wait to see her in what, 3 weeks? Yeah, 3 weeks.
3 weeks, but this episode might be out like, way after you've seen her.
Yeah, I'll recap the show experience.
You'll recap it at some point. My next one is Emery, The Week's End. I mean, Emery was like definitely taking off from this album in that year in 2004. Because I remember seeing them at Warp Tour, and I remember seeing them like they were all wearing pajamas on stage. And that was so great. And Emery, like, I mean, obviously Walls is like their biggest song. It's still probably their biggest song. I mean, they've had other albums later on that I just didn't think were as good as The Week's End for sure. They changed their sound a little too. But yeah, the other song I put down was Fractions. That's another great song that I loved on that album. Did you like Emery?
Um, I had an ex-girlfriend that really liked Emery, and
Now
she
you
played
don't
them a
like
lot.
Emery?
It's no, no, no. I never got into them. It's kind of like how you don't like Taking Back Sunday because someone forced them upon you.
Yeah.
She tried to shove Emery down my throat, and I could just not get into it. Just
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. We could talk about that. Like, bands that people have tried to force upon us that we just don't like because of them.
I like that idea. And then we can just talk shit about that person the rest of the
Yeah, I'll
episode.
just talk crap about my friend. Be like, haha, so you listen to that episode? Oh yeah, that was a trash talk about you. Just kidding. I love you, Candace. You're
Um,
next, sir.
yeah, my number 5 is Chronicles of Life and Death by Good Charlotte.
Okay,
It was a
yeah.
great album. It was a departure from their normal sound, and this was at a time where they were getting a lot of shit for just being lighter and poppier and catchier. And then they write this album that's still really poppy and catchy, but had such dark undertones to it.
Oh yeah.
I absolutely loved the album. I'm not going to sit here and list every track because I loved them all. Um, but it's definitely worth a listen if you haven't, for some reason, listened to Good Charlotte, or at least haven't listened to Chronicles.
Yeah. No, that's a great record. Like I loved Little Things. I mean, that definitely got me into Good Charlotte. And I think that was like 2001, 2002.
Mhm.
Because I remember I was like late in my high school years when I first heard that record. But yeah, 2004 Chronicles. It's a great album. I mean, I can't really say too much about it because it was great.
We're really
We didn't really prepare the greatest for this episode, but
our planning is showing here. We better liven it up with something else.
we better keep talking and like, yeah, well, tell us your thoughts on that album. Like, tell us your thoughts. We want to know. Comment on this episode and tell us what you think of that album for Good Charlotte.
Although a great tie-in with this. So Good Charlotte releases this album in '04. If you watch the DVD on My Heart Will Be the B-Side of My Tongue from Fall Out Boy, at one point Fall Out Boy's on tour and they're at a pool and a girl just randomly comes up to them and goes, "Are you in a band?" And Andy goes, "Yeah, I'm in Good Charlotte."
He would say that. I could see that. I don't know if I ever met Andy Hurley. And he has a house in Wisconsin. Or at least he did. I don't know if he still does.
What
Yeah.
kind of stalker are you? You don't even know if he's still there or not?
I don't remember because I don't stalk people. I'm not a stalker. I'm not a stalker. I'm not a stalker. All right. My next, I don't even know what number I'm on. Census fail. Let it unfold you. I mean, who doesn't love Census fail? Well, I mean, there's people that probably don't love them, but you don't love Census fail?
I don't like census fail.
Wow. How did
It
I not
was,
know this about you?
I've talked about it before during the podcast. I don't know how you
Have
didn't know
you?
about me. Yeah,
I guess it just trickled out of my mind and I like couldn't believe it.
probably. It's another one like when I listen to them or like a song of theirs plays, I'm like, yeah, okay, they're good, but it just doesn't, none of their songs really had that connection with me that pushed me into, okay, I'm gonna listen to them uh constantly, or I never made that personal connection with the band and just
Yeah.
like they're good. I'd rather listen to something else.
Well, at least you say they're good because if we ever get Buddy to come on the podcast, I hope he doesn't like find this episode and listen to it and then he's like, screw these people.
No, buddy, if you come on or you're watching for some reason, I love you.
Yeah, we love you, Buddy. You need to come on this podcast. I did talk to you not that long ago and you were like, yeah, I'll totally come on. But whether or not you remember that when we do ask you to come on, who knows? But no, my favorite songs on that were Buried Alive and Lady in a Blue Dress.
So out of
Yeah.
all the Census Fail discography, every song, what song is like the one where outside of the super popular ones where you would tell somebody to listen and say, hey, try and get it to them, listen to this song.
I mean, Buried Alive is a great song. But I mean, that first record though, the popularist record, you know, the one that's the most popular.
Popularist. Oh,
I make up words all the time. That's what I do. I mean, 187 is like definitely one of my favorite songs. But yeah. But that didn't get you into them.
I guess not.
Guess not. You should have watched the Drive Through Records DVDs. That would get you into them because Buddy's crazy in those.
I mean, I could try, but I also don't relate to crazy.
No, you don't
No,
relate to a dude in a DVD like playing with a fake dildo, like a dildo and stuff, and then having it coming out of his pants. He was
no.
so immature back then. He's still kind of immature, but he's grown up a lot since he became a dad.
I've picked that up from his social media posts.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but no,
He's had to mature a little. Not completely though. He's still Buddy. But definitely he matured a lot from those DVDs. He was also like super young in those DVDs. Now he's like our age. It's funny how like isn't it funny though how a lot of the bands we listened to were our age back then and now they're like our age and we just aged with them, you
but
know?
you also didn't think of it like that back then.
No, I didn't.
Like you looked up to them, kind of. I don't know.
I feel like I didn't think about ages back then and I didn't really
Oh,
ask or question how old anyone was because then
yeah.
sometimes I come to the conclusion I'm like they're that old? They're as old as me? What? But I don't even think about that. It's just an age thing. I just don't try to think about age, I guess. Huh, I don't know. Onward, Christopher.
So my number four. So my number four is another deviation. Number four album 2004 is Love Angel Music Baby by Gwen Stefani.
Ah,
Her
yeah.
debut solo
Which song?
album. I couldn't think of album.
Which song am I talking about?
Holla Back.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that, baby. Holla back, y'all. I'm killing Chris tonight.
We just need to move on now. But yeah, number four, Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani. My next one is a very pinnacle album in 2004 that everybody should know. Hawthorne Heights, Silence in Black and White. Is that on your list, Chris?
It is. It's my number two.
It's your number two. I don't know why it would ever be your number two because It's a horrible album. No, just kidding.
So bad.
It's
I'm
so
surprised it
bad.
was. It's so bad. It's on both of our lists,
Yeah, and every emo kid hates it.
and they definitely never made a tour based on the name.
No, never. Never made a festival based off of the name. But I'm throwing curveballs though, because I put down like my favorite songs off that record, and they aren't the, biggest songs that were on that record. Mine is Blue Burns Orange and Silver Bullet. Those
Silver
are my
Bullet.
favorite songs.
Silver Bullet's always been my favorite off of that album, especially as I've listened to it like years later, like even like Nicky FM and
Ohio is for Lovers.
thanks, I was blanking. Um, they don't hold up as well as Silver Bullet to me. Like,
No, I'd say the lyrics of Silver Bullet hold up.
yeah, yeah, Silver Bullet's an amazing song,
But I mean, Ohio is for Lovers and Nicky FM were like the two popularest
right?
songs. And I just used that word again. Ah, yeah.
You should throw that to Little Caesars and be like the most popularist, extra most bestest.
Pizza, pizza.
If anyone was still watching, everyone is stuck.
Now, this is what they watch us for when we do our normal episodes. This BS between us. We always have like a lot of fun. That's what it's all about. I'm not crying, you're crying.
Oh gosh. So I don't. This shouldn't be a surprise as to what my next one is, or at least that it was made the list. But it might be a surprise that it made my list. So at number three, I had "Hot Fuss" by the Killers.
Okay, okay.
All right, because I mean, you're talking about. I didn't know if that was a cough or a burp.
It was a blurb.
Yeah, it was a blurb. You got Somebody Told Me, Mr. Brightside, all these things that I've done, and a bunch of others, and that album was just it was right in that sweet spot of like emo and mainstream. But that album, such a great.
Yeah. I mean, I like the Killers, but I never got huge into them back in the day. I guess I was just, because Good Charlotte, and then it was like, oh, I need to listen to all the emo. Next on my list was Under Oath. They're Only Chasing Safety. I mean, that's another one of those albums that definitely got me into like screamier music, I guess I would say. Because they definitely screamed a lot in that record,
Yeah,
on that record, not in it. But I mean, my favorite songs, of course, A Boy Brushed Red, Living in Black and White, and Reinventing Your Exit, which are definitely super popular tracks off that album. But yeah.
this would have been on my list. But again, I was in a certain relationship at the time, and I listened to that album heavily, and now it just kind of reminds me of that person, and I just don't. Great album, but I
Yeah.
just can't really go back and listen.
So something tells me you're not going to go to that tour,
Which one?
the Under Oath tour.
Is it even coming anywhere near me?
I have no idea.
I didn't go to their last one because of the same reason. I just can't.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't go see Eminem because of an ex-boyfriend, because, yeah, he thought he was going to be the next Slim Shady, and yeah, no, definitely not. So now every time I hear an Eminem song, it just brings me back to memories of him. Ugh, ruined Eminem for me, gosh. And apparently that new record of his is great,
It
but
is.
I don't want to listen to it because it's just going to make me think of my ex-boyfriend.
But yeah, I do remember listening to They're Only Chasing Safety over and over and over again. I love the entire album. Um,
Ugh, I still do.
I want to say um, It's Dangerous Business was my favorite off that album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But-
I mean, it's a great album. What's your next one?
Oh, I only have one left because number two was Silence in Black
Oh,
and White.
of
Number one is one that you're gonna hate, and that's Where You Want to Be by Taking Back Sunday.
course. Why is that number one? So many better records to put as your number one.
No, no, I completely disagree. Of
I
all the
completely
albums,
disagree with your number one.
fine. They're coming off their freshman. of Tell All Your Friends, and then they released Where You Want to Be, and everything just hit hard. Like, I mean, it was a great album. I can remember listening to it that summer. Like, again, it was summer after graduation for me. So I mean, like, it's that first. It probably brings back a lot of more like nostalgia for me more than anything. But I mean, that whole album just forever one of my favorites. Sneeze.
Ah, that's gonna be great.
I'll leave it
It's gonna
in.
be great.
No, good
As
album.
anyone might be able to tell, I think I'm coming down with a cold, so bear with me. But yeah, I have nothing to say about that album since I never listened to it. To each their own. If you love Taking Back Sunday, that is all on you. But I'm not a fan.
That's all on you. Make it sound so bad. Like you like them, it's all on you.
I mean, maybe you like just the theatrical part. You know, like Adam Lazara is just so crazy on stage, and that's what gets you into him. But I mean, yeah, he's a good performer, but I just don't think he's a great singer. Sorry, not sorry. And on that note, next on my list is The Matches. Yvonne Dahl Killed the Locals. Great, great album. Got me into the Matches for sure. Didn't know about them prior to that album, and I still love them. And I'm super excited to go see them in September for their 20-year of this record. It'll be great. More Than Local Boys and Jack Slap Cheer are my favorites off that record, which I feel like wouldn't be everyone's favorite, but I definitely know that like Jack Slap Cheer is very popular. But there's just something about More Than Local Boys. Like I just love some of the way Sean wrote the lyrics in that, like, you know, like 3 2 3, like doing the chords and stuff, talking those parts. I love that song so much. And that record is just it's gold.
Yeah, I found them a little later. I think I found out about the matches in '05. Um, but I like Dog Ear Page.
Yeah. Dog Ear Page was, I think, the first song I heard of theirs. Oh no, no. It probably was Chain Me Free. I think that was their
Yeah.
first single off that record.
Yeah, and I remember that music video.
Oh yeah. I mean, how can you forget it? Such a great music video. All right, and my last one is a band that I believe was literally a 2004 band, and that's it. I don't remember them going on with anything else, but they did make my list because it was a great album. A Thorn for Every Heart, Things Aren't So Beautiful Now. I don't know if you remember this band at all,
I remember them.
but yeah, I feel like they were just a one album band and then they broke up. I don't think they went on to do anything else. When I was looking up information, I was like, is that really the only record they had?
They toured for a while because I think I saw them in early '07,
But I think that's
maybe
the
late
only
'06.
record they put out.
You know they're still around, right?
Are they?
Yeah,
They're still a band?
yeah.
And
Let me
how do you
try
know
and
this?
find
Does the Google
updates.
say that?
Yeah, they recorded a song in early 2020.
Oh, I think I do remember hearing about that or seeing something about that on like Instagram or something at some point that they did have a song come out, or maybe it came up on my Spotify or something. And I was like, holy crap, what? First music since like, 16 years ago?
Yeah, no, they were great, and I from what I remember seeing them, if no God, 18 years ago. Um, I mean they were great.
Yeah, I mean, I loved 99 with an Anchor and February off that record. So I think 99 with an Anchor was the biggest one, if I recall. That was I think that was the title track, the beginning track. Yeah, that was track number one on that record. But yeah, Thorn for Every Heart. I'm pretty sure I remember and I recall I had a couple of those guys in my backseat of my car when we went to like Pizza Shuttle after a show because me and my friends went to see them. And we were like, let's go get pizza. And they were like, okay, who's driving? So that was fun. They were fun. I
Yeah,
like them.
it looks like they're fairly active on social media, at least Facebook.
I don't know.
Um,
I'll have to check the Instagram because I don't think we're following them and we should be then.
No, I mean they're posting fairly regularly.
Huh. Maybe they're trying to be a resurgence. I mean, a lot of bands are doing that. A lot of bands are doing that. Well, that was the end of my list. Those were our top 10 albums of 2004, folks. Well, we hope you enjoyed our episode. I mean, we haven't done a regular episode in a while.
No, we both really did not prepare.
No, we didn't prepare for this, but I mean,
That's fine.
I think it went all right. We were just recapping. But I mean, let us know in the comments of this episode or on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you follow us. Hopefully you follow us. If you don't, you should. Uh, or else. No, just kidding. But let us know in the comments if you agree with any of the albums we listed, or if you have other albums that you liked back in 2004 better than some of the ones we listed. Like, we want to know what your albums were in 2004, your top albums. Doesn't have to be a top 10 though. Just give us your top 3 or something.
I do have
Yeah.
to say, if we keep going back and if we do 2003 next, we might have to do like a top 50.
Yeah. Hey, maybe next year, since we already did 2005, we'll just go back in time and do 03.
What? Well, we don't have to wait a whole year, but
Well, I'm just saying in general.
yeah, yeah, we can do 03. We'll make our way back to the emo beginnings.
Yes, for sure. All right. That's it for this episode, guys.
Bye,
Peace.
everybody.
Peace.